Before you even start the Multi-Pro, make it a habit to do a quick fuel tank cap before removing the cap. It helps you keep track of your spray line. For best results, Op is equipped with several controls that improve the performance and safety of the machine. Hi, I'm Bill Cooper, your host for Toro's Professional Course Maintenance Series. Today, we'll be taking a look at the Toro Multi-Pro 1250 turf sprayer. The Multi-Pro 1250 is designed to combine reliable performance with operator convenience. And best of all, it precisely monitors spray applications, making it easier for the operator to achieve consistently excellent results. When operating the Multi-Pro 1250, it's extremely important that you always think about safety. Anytime you work with equipment, there is a chance of an accident resulting in serious injury. You have control over some of the major causes of accidents, such as driving too fast, turning too sharp, and not using caution in unfamiliar terrain. Accidents often happen when operators don't know or they disregard safety procedures. Please practice and follow safe operating procedures for this vehicle. We don't want to see you or anyone else injured. When using the machine for the first time, or if you haven't used it for a while, start with the operator's manual stored in this container behind the seat. The manual includes detailed instructions about safety, operating procedures, and maintenance. Just watching this video is not enough. You must read and understand the information in the manual. If the manual is missing, get a replacement from your supervisor or from Toro before operating this machine. Also, read and understand each safety decal and warning label on the vehicle. If you have any questions about the manual, the labels, or the vehicle itself, please ask your supervisor. Accidents happen more frequently when operators do not fully understand all safety procedures. It's important to protect yourself. When operating the Multi-Pro, wear substantial leather shoes or work boots. Don't wear loose-fitting clothing or jewelry that can get caught in moving parts. Hard hats, safety glasses, and hearing protection are always a good idea and often required by your local ordinances, insurance, and facility regulations. Additional protective gear is required with many chemicals, such as goggles, rubber gloves, a respirator mask, and coveralls. Only trained and authorized personnel should operate this vehicle, and they should have a valid motor vehicle license. Never allow children on this vehicle, and never carry passengers. Accidents happen more often when you're tired. Help yourself stay alert by taking occasional breaks. And finally, never use drugs or alcohol when working with any of this equipment. Even prescription drugs and cold medications can slow your reactions, increasing your chance of an accident. Read the label and check with your doctor or pharmacist if you're unsure about any medications. Now, it's time to get familiar with the operation and general maintenance of the Multi-Pro 1250. It's important to follow these procedures so you can operate the Multi-Pro safely, efficiently, and prevent damage to the vehicle. First, get to know the controls of the vehicle. The Multi-Pro 1250 is equipped with several controls that improve the performance and safety of the machine. Many of the controls are similar to other motor vehicles. However, there are unique features that you must understand. It's a good idea to review the operator's manual as you get familiar with the vehicle controls. The ignition switch starts and stops the vehicle. It has the usual 3 positions: off, run, and start. Rotate the key clockwise to the start position to start the engine, and release it when the engine starts. The key returns to the run position when you release it. Turn the key off to stop the engine. When starting a cold engine, you may need the choke. Pull the choke out to start and gradually push it back in as the engine warms up. The range selector lets you choose 3 different options for forward speed and reverse. Each forward range starts from 0. Range 1 goes from 0 to 3 miles per hour. Range 2 goes from 0 to 5 miles per hour. And range 3 goes from 0 to 11 miles per hour. Never change ranges while the vehicle is moving. You'll damage the transaxle. There's an interlock designed into the Multi-Pro, which requires you to depress the brake pedal before you can shift from neutral into any of the ranges. The foot pedals are similar to other motor vehicles. The accelerator pedal increases your speed, and the brake pedal slows down and stops the vehicle. Here's the emergency brake. Pulling back on the brake lever engages the brake, and pushing the lever forward releases the brake. Always release the brake before moving the vehicle. The steering wheel obviously turns the vehicle. It has power assist to make it easier for you to turn. If the engine stalls or the power assist fails, you can still turn the vehicle. It's just harder to turn the wheel. You will also find an hour meter that measures the total hours of machine operation, and a voltmeter that indicates if the battery is charging or discharging. Finally, a simple on-off switch controls the headlights. Practice using these controls before you put the Multi-Pro to work. It'll reduce your chances of having an accident while operating the vehicle. Before you even start the Multi-Pro, make it a habit to do a quick check of the machine's parts and attachments. Running the vehicle with something out of order can damage the machine and injure yourself or others. There is a daily maintenance schedule in your operator's manual that's a good checklist to follow for routine inspections. As with any piece of machinery, parts can come loose and fluids can leak or dry up, causing severe damage if not corrected. A careful inspection will help identify potential problems so they can be fixed safely. Do this inspection with the engine off, the parking brake set, and the ignition key removed. Look for loose nuts, bolts, and screws and tighten them. Check the engine oil by parking the vehicle on a level surface and setting the parking brake. Tilt the seat forward to access the engine compartment. Remove the dipstick and wipe the oil off with a clean cloth. Insert the dipstick completely back into the engine and remove it again. Check the oil level against the markings on the dipstick, and if it's low, add only enough oil to reach the F mark on the dipstick. Keep checking the level as you add oil to ensure it doesn't overfill. Never overfill the engine. Review the operator's manual for more details. While you're in the engine compartment, check the brake fluid level. Check the air cleaner and air intake. Tighten any loose components and remove any material that blocks the intakes. Running the engine with plugged screens or plugged cooling fins can cause damage or fires from overheating. To avoid a potential fire, remove excessive grease, dirt, grass, and leaves from the engine area. Do not wash a warm engine or any of the electrical components. With the vehicle still parked on a level surface, check the hydraulic transaxle fluid. This procedure is similar to checking the oil. Remove the dipstick from the transaxle reservoir. Wipe the dipstick with a clean cloth. Return the dipstick completely into the reservoir and remove it again. Check that the fluid is at the proper level. Also, carefully examine all hydraulic hoses and fittings for leakage. Check for leaks in the hydraulic system by using a stiff piece of paper or cardboard. Run the paper along the area of the hose or fittings you are checking and examine it for signs of oil. Never check for leaks with your hands, even if you have gloves on. Hydraulic oil is under extreme pressure and becomes hot. It can penetrate your skin or gloves and cause serious injury and burns. To refuel, first turn the engine off and set the parking brake. Clean the area around the fuel tank cap before removing the cap. Then remove the cap. Fill the tank to about an inch below the top of the filler neck. And then replace the cap. Don't overfill the tank, and be sure to wipe up any fuel that may have spilled. See the operator's manual for more details about handling fuel and avoiding fires or explosions. Next, check the wheels and tires. The wheel nuts should be tight, and the tire pressure should be 18 to 20 psi. And the tires should not be excessively worn or damaged. Always check the tires and wheels immediately after hitting objects or holes. The speed limiter allows the operator to set a repeatable ground speed within a speed range. This helps reduce inconsistent speeds during application. The speed limiter can only be used when the accelerator pedal is depressed and the desired speed is reached. When you're at the speed you want, set the speed limiter by raising or lowering the knob. Before raising or lowering the knob, you must unlock the limiter by turning the base counterclockwise. You can do course adjustments by pressing the button in the center of the knob and pulling or pushing the knob up or down. To fine-tune the adjustment, turn the knob itself. Turning it clockwise will accelerate, and counterclockwise will decelerate the vehicle. When the limiter is set at the speed you want, lock it by turning the base clockwise. If you find anything at all suspicious during your inspection, notify your mechanic or supervisor before taking the vehicle out. Also, ask your supervisor if there are other things that must be checked before operating the machine. There may be special requirements for your facility. And finally, the Multi-Pro can be equipped with these rollover protection structures and seat belts. Both of these optional items provide more safety for the operator and are highly recommended. Now, we're ready to start the vehicle and drive. Eric will be our operator. He'll demonstrate the best way to start and drive the Multi-Pro. He's already read the operator's manual, completed a safety training program for turf equipment, and has performed the pre-operation safety inspection that I just described. First, sit in the operator's seat and check that the parking brake is engaged. Make sure the range selector is in the neutral position and the spray pump on-off switch is in the off position. If the engine is cold, pull out the choke. Insert the key into the ignition switch and turn it to start. As soon as the engine starts, release the key back to the run position. Otherwise, the engine may be seriously damaged. When starting, don't hold the key in the start position more than 10 seconds. If the engine doesn't start after 10 seconds, wait at least 60 seconds before trying again. The engine must come to a complete stop before the starter is engaged again. If the engine doesn't start or turn over, turn the key to off and let your mechanic or supervisor know. After the engine is started, gradually push the choke in as the engine warms up. When it's running at normal operating temperature, the choke shouldn't be needed. Check the steering assist by turning the wheel to the left and right. If the steering assist is not working properly, it will be hard to turn the wheels. In this case, notify your supervisor and have it corrected before operating. Now, you're ready to move. Apply the foot brake and move the range selector into the range you want. Release the parking brake, the foot brake, and depress the accelerator pedal to move forward. You can use the speed limiter to set a repeatable speed setting for the vehicle, which helps maintain a consistent spray application rate. To stop the vehicle, simply remove your foot from the accelerator pedal and depress the brake pedal. After the vehicle stops, you can stop the engine by turning the ignition key to the off position. Then, engage the parking brake and remove the key. If you're operating a new vehicle during the first 100 hours of operation, follow these extra precautions to make sure the vehicle breaks in safely. Check the fluids more often and watch for signs of overheating. Allow the engine to warm up at least 15 seconds before accelerating, and don't race the engine. Also, break in the brake linings by avoiding hard stops, especially under load. Gradually work the vehicle up to its performance levels during the first 100 hours. And check the operator's manual for special low-hour maintenance procedures. Even though this vehicle is designed with controls similar to a passenger car, it's very different. First of all, it's not designed for roadways, and it's not a recreational vehicle or an ATV. It's strictly for work use. Never allow children on the machine, and never carry passengers. If you aren't experienced at driving the Multi-Pro 1250, practice driving in a safe area away from other people. Get familiar with all the controls, especially braking, steering, and shifting. Remain seated at all times, keeping your hands on the steering wheel. And always keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle. An important rule to always follow is go slow in unfamiliar areas. Avoid driving in the dark if possible, but if you must, slow down and use the headlights. Learn how the vehicle handles on different surfaces, wet and dry. Take it easy at first. You'll get better with more experience. It's surprising how even small things can cause damage or injury. Things like tree branches, wire, fences, stumps, ditches, rocks, and other hazards common to work areas. There are a few situations that require extra attention. Speed is one of the most important factors causing accidents. Higher speeds can turn a minor accident into a major disaster. Never drive too fast for the conditions, and always slow down if you're unsure of the situation. Always slow down with heavy loads. Weight increases the stopping distance of any vehicle and changes its handling characteristics. Turning too sharp is another major factor causing accidents. And wet, sandy, and slippery surfaces make turning more difficult and risky. Slow down, or the vehicle will lose traction and skid, or worse, it might tip over. Be extra careful driving on hills. Steep hills are dangerous because of the increased risk of tipping over and the increased stopping distance required. It's also more dangerous to turn on a hill, even at slow speeds. Do not accelerate while descending a hill. If the vehicle starts to coast or freewheel while going downhill, apply the brakes to slow the vehicle. If the vehicle stalls or loses headway, apply the brakes and engage the parking brake. Move the range selector in reverse to carefully back down the hill. Check the neutral interlock switch. The Multi-Pro 1250 is designed so it will not start, and the accelerator lock will not engage unless the range selector is in the neutral position. Try starting the engine with the range selector in the 1 position. If the engine starts, the neutral switch is defective and must be fixed. Do not operate the vehicle until it's corrected. Finally, check that all shields, safety devices, and decals are in place. If any one of these isn't working, is damaged, or hard to read, repair or replace it before using the vehicle. The Multi-Pro 1250 is a dedicated spray application vehicle with features designed to improve the accuracy and consistency of spray applications. It provides a constant application rate over a wide range of speed. This minimizes variations in application due to operator control. In addition to learning how to operate the vehicle, it's essential that operators thoroughly learn how to use the sprayer and its controls. Never let anyone use this machine without first reading and understanding the operator's manual and learning how the system operates. The spray system consists of 3 boom sections, controlled by a master boom on-off foot switch, individual boom switches, a rate control switch, and a neutral engine speed control. Let's take a look at the sprayer controls and how they operate. On the right console, the pump on-off switch activates the spraying system by engaging or disengaging the diaphragm pump. The master boom on-off foot switch works with the individual boom switches. When the master boom foot switch is on, the activated booms come on. When the switch is off, the active booms are shut off, and the word hold appears in the Spray Pro monitor display. The individual boom section on-off switches control the flow of spray solution to the left, center, and right booms. These switches work together with the master boom on-off foot switch. When the light in the switch is on, the boom section valve is on. The application rate switch controls the application rate of the spray solution. Hold the switch to gradually increase or decrease the spraying pressure and application rate. The rate lockout switch operates with a key and prevents accidental adjustment of the application rate switch or tampering with the application rate. Turning the key clockwise enables you to use the application rate switch to change the application rate. Turning the key counterclockwise locks or deactivates the application rate switch. The boom bypass valves simply redirect the flow of the solution to individual booms back to the tank. This maintains a consistent pressure in the system. On the tank is the agitation control valve that turns the agitation jets on or off. A pressure gauge indicates the pressure in the system. The neutral engine speed control is on the left console. It allows you to maintain a constant engine speed when the vehicle is in neutral. This lets you operate the pump, hand sprayer, and agitation while the vehicle is stationary. First, set the parking brake, and with the engine running, put the range selector in neutral. Then, increase the engine speed to your desired level and push the neutral accelerator lock switch forward to set the lock. Release the accelerator pedal and the engine will maintain the speed you selected. To change speed, simply push the lock switch back to the off position. An important control of the spray application is the nozzles on the booms. To select the correct nozzle, you need to know the recommended chemical application rate in gallons per acre, gallons per 1,000 square feet, or liters per hectare. You also need to know the average vehicle speed, the nozzle spacing on the booms, and the pressure range you'll use. A good pressure range for most applications is 30 to 50 psi. With this information, you can select the correct nozzle from the standard nozzle selection charts in the operator's manual. The Spray Pro monitor automatically calculates the application rate of the spray solution, and it features a large, easy-to-read liquid crystal display that is backlit for use in low light. The Spray Pro comes pre-programmed with numbers for the speed sensor, flow meter, and boom width. There are 4 easy steps to set your rate of application before you begin spraying. First, choose the nozzles you need for the particular application rate you want and fill the tank with water. Second, select a test area and start driving in the speed range you will use while spraying. Third, turn on the spray pump and spray booms to begin spraying the water. Finally, set the rotary dial on the monitor to application rate and check that the rate displayed is what you want for your application rate. If it's not, adjust the rate using the application rate switch on the spray control panel to increase or decrease the rate of application within the speed range you intend to use. Now you have the spray application rate set when all 3 booms are activated. One final adjustment is needed to allow you to shut off individual booms during any part of the application and maintain a constant application rate. Stop the vehicle, put the range selector in neutral, set the parking brake, and leave the engine and pump running. Push the accelerator pedal to the floor and set the neutral accelerator lock to keep the engine running at full speed while you release the accelerator pedal. With all 3 booms spraying, check the pressure on the pressure gauge and make note of it. Shut off one of the booms with the individual boom valve and check the pressure again. If the pressure changes when one of the booms is shut off, Adjust the boom bypass valve for the idle boom until the pressure returns to the level you noted when all 3 booms were operating. Do this for each of the remaining booms and the entire spray unit is calibrated. Even though the speed, flow meter, and boom width numbers are pre-programmed, it's a good idea to occasionally fine-tune the calibrations. See the operator's manual and the section at the end of this video for details on how to fine-tune the Spray Pro monitor. With the Spray Pro monitor calibrated, we're ready to start spraying. Working with the chemicals you apply has its own set of safety procedures. These chemicals can seriously injure people, animals, plants, soils, and other property. To avoid personal injury and environmental damage, select the proper chemical for the job and carefully follow the directions from the chemical manufacturer. Be sure to check the product label from the chemical manufacturer for the personal protective equipment for that chemical. Keep spray material away from your skin. If you're exposed to the chemical, wash it off immediately with clean water and detergent. Proper handling and disposal of chemicals and containers is a critical safety procedure. Follow all the instructions from the chemical manufacturer. A fresh water tank is on the vehicle if you need to wash any chemicals off your skin. Fill this tank with clean, fresh water daily. Turn on the tank spigot to get a flow of fresh water for rinsing. To fill the solution tank, carefully follow these procedures and follow the chemical manufacturer's instructions for mixing the spray solution. Do not add chemical to the tank until just before you're ready to use it. Never pour concentrate directly into an empty tank. Fill the tank about 3/4 full with clean, clear water. Then, with the agitation control valve on, add the chemical concentrate slowly. Finish filling the tank with the required amount of water for the solution. To use chemicals in water-soluble bags, fill the tank until the bottom of the tank basket strainer has about 4 to 5 inches of water in it. Place the water-soluble bag in the strainer with the agitator on until the bag dissolves. Use the anti-siphon device to finish filling the tank through the strainer. Now, with the spray system calibrated and the solution in the tank, we're ready to work. Turn the spray pump switch on, the master boom valve off, and then drive to the area to be sprayed. Once there, operate the vehicle within the speed range you calibrated for this application rate. The Multi-Pro pump speed is controlled by the traction speed, automatically compensating for any variations in ground speed. This keeps your application rate constant. Use the master boom foot switch to control the spray and the individual boom switches to control the individual boom sections. Use the agitation control valve to turn the agitation jets on or off. While operating the sprayer, do not overlap areas that have been sprayed. There's an optional foam marking kit that helps you keep track of your spray line. For best results, turn the sprayer on after the vehicle is moving. Stop the spray flow before stopping the vehicle. If you're operating in windy conditions, an optional enclosed boom system is available to keep the spray from drifting. Finally, watch for plug nozzles and replace all worn nozzles and those producing streaks and uneven spray patterns. When finished spraying, it's important to clean the equipment to prevent corrosion and deposits from building up in the lines and nozzles. Regular preventative maintenance will ensure the equipment lasts a long time and operates effectively. Flush the entire spraying system after each use and thoroughly wash the spray nozzles with water. Use compressed air to blow out and dry the nozzle orifices. If the nozzle is plugged, clean it with a soft bristle brush. Never use a metal object or you risk damaging the nozzle. This is also a good time to check the nozzles for damage. Clean the suction strainer in the tank daily when using powdered chemicals, and at least every 50 hours when using liquid chemicals. One of the main causes for faulty performance of the spraying system is gumming or corrosion buildup in the pump and the lines. Carefully wash the tank, pump, hoses, nozzles, screens, controls, and accessories. Check that all metal parts are clean and use a rust inhibitor on any unpainted metal parts. Periodically, lubricate the sprayer. We recommend you clean the entire system with 3 50-gallon rinses after each use, and periodically use a detergent cleaner. If the vehicle will be stored for an extended time, there are additional precautions to take to protect the equipment. Review the operator's manual for more details. We've covered a lot of information today that will help you keep your Multi-Pro 1250 operating at peak performance. All of this information and more is in your operator's manual. Refer to the manual often for the recommended procedures that will give you excellent results and years of service. I'm Bill Cooper. Thank you for your attention. The next section of this program demonstrates how to fine-tune the Spray Pro monitor so it's set up precisely for your facility and the grounds you spray. Hi again, I'm Bill Cooper, and I want to continue this demonstration of the Multi-Pro 1250. In this section, we'll review how to fine-tune the Spray Pro monitor. The calibrations that are preset in the factory have been tested in many different conditions, and you'll get excellent results just using these settings. However, if you want to finely calibrate your Spray Pro, you can easily reset the calibrations to get the results you want. Follow these steps for the best results. There are 8 program settings around a rotary dial and 4 function buttons along the bottom of the monitor. Turning the rotary dial to any one of the settings displays the number for that setting. Total area is a setting that keeps track of the total area covered. The speed setting displays your ground speed in miles or kilometers per hour. Units of measure displays the measurement units selected. US is the setting for gallons per acre. SI is the metric setting for liters per hectare. Turf is for gallons per 1,000 square feet. The monitor is preset for the US measurement. To change the units of measure, stop the machine and set the parking brake. Press and hold the Cal button until Cal appears on the display. Place the rotary dial at units of measure and use the plus or minus buttons to scroll through the options of US, SI, or turf. When the desired option appears on the display, exit the Cal mode by holding the Cal button or by driving the machine. Application rate displays the current application rate in US gallons per acre. However, it's convertible to the metric setting that displays liters per hectare, or the turf setting that displays gallons per 1,000 square feet. Total volume shows the total number of gallons or liters applied. Subvolume is used to monitor the volume in gallons or liters sprayed in a specific area. Distance shows the distance traveled in feet or meters. Subarea keeps a running count of the individual areas covered. Notice the secondary labels around the outside of the rotary dial settings. These indicate the additional functions displayed when you're in the calibration mode. The boom selection setting tells you the width of the individual boom sections. Test speed simulates your ground speed for a pre-filled checkout. Select units allows you to change the measurement of the application rate from US gallons per acre to the metric setting or the turf setting. Flow calibration is used to enter the calibration number for the flow meter. Speed calibration allows you to enter a speed calibration number. Width is used in the calibration mode to enter the working width of your individual boom sections. Along the bottom of the monitor, the reset button allows you to clear the current setting from the display and enter a new number. To clear the display, press and hold this button for 3 seconds until the display reads 0. The Cal button is used to switch in or out of the calibration mode. The minus button decreases the number in the display, and the plus button increases the number in the display. Finally, the red warning light is constantly on when you're in the calibration mode. If the display message OFL appears during any of the distance, area, or total volume measurements, it indicates the monitor's capacity to display information has been exceeded, and the function must be reset to 0. Press the reset button for 3 seconds to get back to 0. The Spray Pro is a sophisticated system that monitors the spraying operation of the Multi-Pro. The Spray Pro is programmed already with numbers for speed, flow, and width calibrations. However, these calibrations can be fine-tuned for the best results. To fine-tune the flow meter calibration, you simply pump a specific amount of water through the system and compare this amount to the flow meter reading on the monitor. Use plain water as the test spray solution and fill the tank with at least 100 gallons. More water will give you more accurate calibrations. Turn the rotary dial on the monitor to the total volume setting. Press and hold the reset button until the display reads 0. It takes about 3 seconds to 0 out. Now, turn the booms on with the master foot switch and run a measured amount of water through the system and out the nozzles. When finished with at least 100 gallons, turn off the booms and compare the total volume reading on the monitor with the total volume of water you ran through the nozzles. If the two amounts are the same, the system is tuned. If the amounts are different, set the parking brake, and with the monitor still at the total volume setting, press and hold the Cal button. The display will alternate between the flow cal number and the total volume number every 3 seconds. You can tell the flow cal number because the small word cal appears in the display for this number only, not with the total volume number. When the total volume number is on the display, use the plus or minus buttons to adjust the number to match the actual amount of water you ran through the nozzles. Once the display begins alternating again between the total volume and flow cal numbers, the flow cal number should have changed to a new number based on the new calibration. The numbers would begin alternating in about 64 seconds if no other buttons are pushed. This is your new calibration number. Now you're finished fine-tuning the flow meter calibration, and you can exit the calibration mode by pressing and holding the cal button until the red warning light goes out, or by driving the machine. To fine-tune the speed sensor, you will compare the distance number with a measured distance you actually drive. First, check that the tire pressure is correct. It should be 18 to 20 psi. Then, fill the spray tank half full of water and fill the fresh water tank. Choose a level, straight test area similar to the actual turf conditions you're going to spray, and mark off a distance of at least 500 feet. Use clear marks at the beginning and end of this distance so you can accurately start and stop at these points. Testing on a course that's different from your actual spray conditions may give you different readings than you want for your application. To begin the speed calibration, turn the pump off and turn the master foot switch off. Drive to your starting mark and turn the rotary dial to the distance setting. Press and hold the reset button until the display reads 0. It takes about 3 seconds to zero out. Start driving the vehicle from the starting mark of the measured distance. The display counter should start counting up from 0. Stop the vehicle at the ending mark of the course and check your reading. If the amounts are different, set the parking brake, and with the monitor still at the distance setting, press and hold the cal button. The display will alternate between the speed cal number and the distance number every 3 seconds. You can tell the speed cal number because the small word cal appears in the display for this number only, not with the distance number. When the distance number is on the display, use the plus or minus buttons to adjust the number to match the actual distance you drove. Once the display begins alternating again between the distance and speed cal numbers, the speed cal number should have changed to a new number based on the new calibration. The numbers will begin alternating in about 64 seconds if no other buttons are pushed. This is your new calibration number. Now you're finished fine-tuning the distance calibration, and you can exit the calibration mode by pressing and holding the cal button until the red warning light goes out, or by driving the machine. The calibrations that are preset in the Spray Pro monitor are accurate for most conditions. The procedures we just demonstrated are an easy way to fine-tune the monitor to your own operating conditions. I'm Bill Cooper. Thanks for watching this demonstration. And be sure to check your operator's manual for more details about using the Multi-Pro 1250. start the multi-pro, make it a habit to do a quick tank cap before removing the cap. Helps you keep track of your spray line. For best results, 50 is equipped with several controls that improve the performance and safety of the... Hi, I'm Bill Cooper.
Hola, soy Bill Cooper y estoy aquí para mostrarles el equipo profesional de Toro. Hoy veremos el vehículo de expresión Toro MultiPro 1250. El MultiPro 1250 está diseñado para ofrecerle funcionamiento confiable y conveniencia al operador. Controla con precisión la atomización de productos y facilita al operador la uniformidad, con resultados excelentes. Cuando opere el MultiPro 1250 es muy importante que piense siempre en la seguridad. Siempre que se trabaja con equipo, hay posibilidades de sufrir accidentes y lesiones graves. Usted tiene control sobre algunas causas de accidentes, como exceso de velocidad, vueltas cerradas o falta de precaución en terreno desconocido. Los operadores se accidentan a veces por desconocer o ignorar los procedimientos de seguridad. Practique y siga los procedimientos seguros para este vehículo. No queremos que se lesione ni lesione a otras personas. Cuando use la máquina por primera vez, o si no lo ha usado por un tiempo, comience leyendo el manual de instrucciones que está detrás del asiento. Tiene instrucciones detalladas sobre seguridad, procedimientos de operación y mantenimiento. No es suficiente ver este video, debe leer y entender la información del manual. Si no tiene el manual, pida una copia al supervisor o a la compañía Toro antes de operar esta máquina. También debe leer y entender los letreros de seguridad y advertencias del vehículo.